What's up, everybody? I used the wrong stream, so we're back on the correct stream this time. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And, well, let's get, we'll wait a few minutes for some people to hop on, and then we'll get started talking about severe weather. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to myself real quick. And let's see. So you guys can see me. There we go. So hopefully now you can see me down there in the corner. But I'm going to wait just a little longer for some more people to join. Get a few people on. Don't forget to smash the like button. And let's see. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I think you should be able to hear me. All the audio seems to be working. All right, let's well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. We're looking at the 500 millibar chart here, but severe weather in September. Well, it looks like we've been getting rain, so it's a lot different than that summer heat that we've been dealing with up here in North Texas and in most of Texas for that matter. But yeah, we're getting started to a new pattern, a more active pattern, which is great. So maybe we'll actually be able to get out there and see some real good storms. We'll see how that plays out. But for right now, I can't see the chat. There we go. Hey, Christy, I am well. I am well. Looks like we got a few people on. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't have the SPC pulled up, but they don't really have anything on here except for some marginal risk for some severe storms over the next day, and that includes today. But let's go ahead and get into the 500 millibar forecast. These are the low pressure troughs, and we look at the 500 millibar chart for that. But let's move forward here. So it's got this ridging going on. You see this. Oh my gosh, this thing needs to stop. You got this ridge going on, and then you have this up here. So, oh my goodness, we went way too far. I don't like that about pivotal weather. You hover over any part of that gray bar, and it automatically moves you there. But let's go ahead and move it over, and you see we got some more active weather coming in, especially right here. This is next Thursday, it looks like. We get some upper level winds right here coming across Kansas and Oklahoma Panhandle, across New Mexico, and up into Nebraska. But if we continue going, we have this really good bowling ball trough right about here. Let's see, 03, 06. So this is really like kind of early. Like this is 0Z on Saturday. So this is going to be Saturday. Let me go ahead and pick this. This is really far out. This is 222 hours from now, or from the time that the model ran. So take this with a grain of salt, but there is a pattern change. So it's nice to see something that might be happening. Let's pick a sounding real quick. So this is all these orange lines basically mean that I just clicked right where there's some precipitation. So let's go 850 millibars because that's where our low level jet is. And look at this low level jet, which is pretty impressive. Let's switch over to regional, the South Central US. Actually, you know what? Let's do Central US. There we go. There we go. So this goes all the way up into Kansas and then portions of Nebraska. But most of this is right over southwest Oklahoma and then right here. So let's pick right there and let's see. We got a marginal tour, but look at the photograph on that. That looks, it's got some nice curvature, but then it looks real messy on the other side. But this looks like it could be something. This is a decent sounding for September. So it definitely looks like we've got some severe weather. Good morning, Alicia, I'm guessing you're on the other side of the planet if you're saying it's good morning. So, good morning to you. And let me continue going here. Let's look at some other parameters. So, just to let you guys know what this is the low level jet or the low level jet stream. This is winds a few thousand feet above the surface, and this is where it really matters. So these winds could potentially give us some organized severe storms. And we'll have to look deeper to find out if there's going to be any possibility for tornadoes. But anything at this hour at 222 is to be taken with a grain of salt because, this is going to change. This isn't going to look this way tomorrow, and the next day it's going to be even different. Well, thank you for joining from New Zealand. I'm glancing over at the comments every now and then here. So we've got this 850 millibar jet stream, which is really nice right over here. I live right in this area right here, so this won't be too far of a travel for me if storms do end up being in this area, which will remain to be seen. Let's go down to the really important part, and that's dew points. So it looks like we have moisture surging all the way up here, and then you see this where it's really dry right here. I wish I had my pen installed so I could draw on the screen, but I don't have it installed right now. All this moisture comes up here, and then it looks like it kind of wraps around. It's got this little bulge right here at the top. There's a low pressure right here. So if we go to surface level pressure, you can see this little area of low pressure right here. So it drags all this moisture up and then wraps it around that low pressure. So, and actually we could see that if we view wind barbs. You see all these winds here coming from the west, and these kind of push it up right here. So this all goes right here. So if I were going to chase, I would want to be somewhere in this vicinity up here in Kansas, but Dodge City maybe. So let's click on this area. Possible hazard type is none because there's a pretty significant cap there. Let's scroll down. Let's go to severe weather. Look at good unstable cape. So maybe right here. Maybe I'd pick right here. Marginal tornado. That's a terrible looking photograph. SRH. There's a lot of this mid-level rotation right here. So far, that's a really nice looking photograph. But so far, this looks like 77, 63. So pretty good spread between the temperatures. Probably elevated thunderstorms, hailstorms maybe. Look over here in the Panhandle. Yeah, there's a huge spread here. The temperature's a little warmer further south. So really, I would expect probably hailstorms out of this. But I'll take whatever I can get. And I know you guys that watch the live stream when we're out chasing enjoy watching just about any kind of weather. So I'll chase it if I can. Let me go to my favorite parameter, EHI. It's really the best here, but really looking at bigger temperatures. Here's a 10 degree, so but the photograph looks terrible. So yeah, I don't know. That photograph, it shows the kind of the direction of where the winds are blowing at different levels of the atmosphere. So this one's a little bit better looking. Here you have kind of like the surface, and then you have this is the storm motion, so it's due east measured from here, and then you get the next one here and the next one here. So you're looking at 50 knots. So that's decent. That's not bad actually. But the really large temperature spread here means that we'll probably would just have some really good looking supercells, no tornadoes. These would be very elevated, so you won't get tornadoes with elevated. Really, to have tornado production, you have to have the cloud deck much further, much closer to the ground, and these won't be close to the ground because in order to tap into this SRH or this spin in the atmosphere, the clouds have to be lower. So severe weather, yes. Tornadoes, I would imagine if they put anything up, it'll be 2%, but that really depends on whether or not this is what ends up happening. We're still a week away. So we can always take a gander at it again next week. But if you guys got any questions, I mean, this was really the purpose of the live stream, was to show some severe weather. We're too far out to look at any other models, but yeah, if y'all got questions, let me know. I'm gonna turn my camera off. And so, yeah. Well, Christy, it depends, right? I mean, first of all, it's kind of a fool's errand to really try to make that sort of a prediction this far out. This is just kind of looking at what could happen, but supercell thunderstorms, large hail, maybe some damaging winds, but this is going to change. So, if there's more moisture or lower temperatures, then that'll have a pretty big impact on what transpires. But we're really just gonna have to wait and see. What's today? Thursday. Yeah. So this is for Saturday. So next Thursday, I may do another live stream, and by then we'll have more information about what kind of severe weather we may have. But let's see. What's SPC say? I don't think SPC has anything out for that far out. There's too much variability right now for them to really say anything. Potential too low. Day 7, they're saying predictability too low. And same for day 8. Let's say, I'm going to read this. Medium range model guidance shows a mid-level trough moving through the east during the Sunday-Monday period. Days 4 and 5. Potential for severe thunderstorms will likely be limited with this system owing to dry air. The pattern becomes less amplified, more zonal across the coast on Tuesday, with moisture returning to the southern Great Plains. Models show split flow over the west, evolving into larger scale trough potentially by midweek next week. A more active pattern for severe may develop towards the end of the extended period and focus over the Great Plains. So, they're seeing pretty much the same thing, and the extended period is beyond day 8, right? So next Thursday will be this day 8 right here. And the event that I was looking at, or the forecast I was looking at, is for day 10. There's no day 10 on SPC, but it would be 10 days from now, which is why I say it's kind of silly. The SPC doesn't even forecast that far out. It's just kind of fun to look at and see what could happen. But any other questions? Only got a few people on here. But if y'all have got questions, let me know, and I will try to answer them. See. Nobody has any other questions. There's also a delay. I put low latency mode on, I think, so it should be less of a delay than normal. But what else can we talk about? I don't know. I am trying to come up with a video, or trying to create a video, or maybe a live stream for, how to be a storm chaser, or what are my opinions on the subject for other people getting involved in storm chasing, etc. That may be, I may do that as a live stream. Live streams tend to do better, depending on a number of factors, but we'll see. We'll see if I make it as a video or as a live stream. Do you guys have any opinions on that? On what you'd like to see? Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna try to drag this out to 6:30 at least. Got a few more people on, since there's a few more people on, we'll talk a little bit more about what we've already discussed. Looking for some severe weather somewhere in the Great Plains, probably in the Southern Plains, but really it's too far out to know exactly when, where, or what. But there are some signals letting us know that there could be some severe weather, potentially between Friday, Saturday of next week. Not this weekend, but the one after. So we're kind of hoping for that because they really want to get some good storms. And looking at the preliminary, very early data, which isn't really reliable, there's potential for some really good looking storms. So we'll see though. The rest of the week or the weekend. Well, let's take a look. Let me go to the short term models here. Today is Thursday, so go to the NAM 3 kilometer. Let me go to the entire country. Let's just go to precip because that's probably going to be the biggest question for most of y'all. Is it going to rain? So this is Thursday at 19Z, which would be what, 1 or 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Let's go ahead and play it. So you can see all the precipitation that was kind of here in Texas, and it's kind of going away. You can see Hurricane Lee sitting out there in the Atlantic. You get this long thing from Colorado all the way up into Minnesota of precipitation. Looks like it's just one giant front. Of course, you get some more rain coming through tomorrow in the morning in through west central Texas and then into central Texas, it looks like. Yep. Maybe a few strong storms in central Texas. And then you got Hurricane Lee. This short-term forecast model shows it going up into Maine, it looks like. So it may have some impacts up there by Maine up into portions of maybe Canada. But definitely going to get some rain up there in Maine towards the weekend from that system. It looks like maybe parts of Indiana here and maybe parts of Ohio may see some rain. Also, you can see oh my gosh, I clicked on something. So right here over Colorado, you can see this little spinning, a little bit of low pressure right here. Y'all can see that. So it looks like some storms and precip over parts of New Mexico for what is that, Friday? I know it says Saturday up there. Man, I keep clicking by accident. But this is in Zulu time or UTC. So, and then maybe parts of South Texas along the Rio Grande. You're in Central Texas? Okay, yeah. So I can go ahead and look at Central Texas. Let's go take a look at that. And I know there's other people on here as well. If you guys want to look at a specific area, just hop onto the chat and let me know, and we'll look at it. Now this is also the NAM 3 kilometer. I don't always trust its output, but now it won't. The HRRR doesn't go but 2 days out. So yeah, it looks like you got some stuff for the rest of the day into Central Texas, and you get some storms out here in West Texas for the rest of today. And then going into Saturday or Friday morning, there's these storms, southern panhandle over by Lubbock. A few showers in Central Texas over here, looks like. And you have that storm system from way out here makes its way all the way into Central Texas. And then over here in the hill country and along the Rio Grande, there's some more precip going into the later part of Friday. And then a whole bunch of precip up here in the panhandle going into the overnight hours and then into the morning on Saturday. Of course, this is just one model. This is the NAM 3 kilometer. So let's just look at weather.gov real quick and see what they say. So this is NWS Austin San Antonio. This covers all the way from like up to Llano and Georgetown down to Eagle Pass, basically. and over into Cuero. So this is the official forecast from the National Weather Service. Isolated severe storms today, and here's their 5-day planner. I always liked how NWS San Antonio did their graphics. They always did a really nice job. So it's got scattered storms on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way, it looks like, into Monday, and then they become kind of isolated on Monday. So looks like there's a chance of rain all the way through, almost all the way to next 5 days, Tuesday being the exception. So it really kind of depends on where you are. In Northeast on Sunday, but everywhere, potential for everywhere there. So yeah, I mean, it looks like you're looking at scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. I mean, if you look at it on the model, you can see that it's kind of everywhere, and this model doesn't tell you that it's gonna. I mean, there might not be rain right here. It might be down here. It might be up here, or it might be slower back here. It might be faster and be down here. I mean, there's just no way to know for sure. You kind of have to look at multiple models. Let's go look at the HRRR. Oh my gosh, I can't click today. So this is the 18Z run of the HRRR, which is the most recent big run we have. So you can see it's got scattered precip all the way, and then here's Friday morning, and it also shows this complex of storms. I keep clicking that by accident. It also shows this complex of storms moving through central Texas, but it looks like it has it to be a little bit more numerous than the NAM 3 kilometer did, especially in South Texas and along the Rio Grande. Then it doesn't go any further out than noon on Saturday. So Friday looks like probably one of the better chances, and then we'll have to look at other models or wait until the next couple days to see what the forecast is. But NWS San Antonio is saying rain all the way through Monday. So yeah, I think that's probably pretty correct there, Christy. Anybody else got any questions? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Well, we can talk about anything on the live stream. I try to make this as open a forum as possible for everyone. So if you guys want to talk about something that's not weather related, we can do that. If you want to talk about storm chasing, we can do that. Just let me know. Hey, Piano Man, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. One of our Piano Man, I think you joined back in the mid to late spring, and you've been a pretty consistent viewer, so I appreciate that. Hey, Wendy, thanks for watching from Missouri. Appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I try to do. I've been kind of slacking on the live streams from home. It's been real boring with the weather and real hot, and the internet's been kind of messing up. They finally got it fixed, so now the live streams from home should be of much better quality than they were the last couple times I did it. But yeah, I mean, as far as storm chasing goes, that's what most people like to watch, because most of the subscribers we have now came from storm chasing live streams, and well, there's just not been a whole lot of it, and when there was, that was just too far away for me to get to it. But yeah, I'm glad to see you back, Piano Man. Really appreciate it. Also, Wendy, thank you, and Christy, thanks for watching. But my goodness, it's quite an interesting turn here. We were real hot for a while, and now bam, all of a sudden it's sudden weather change. So it's nice. Severe weather season's winding down. Routine is get off work, grab dinner, and watch some storm chasing. Yeah, summer was real boring for me. I just kind of did what I could. And now that storms are kicking back up, I feel a little bit better. I'm glad that storm season is coming back. So severe season for the spring wound down pushed kind of late into summer. And then it just got super hot with this huge dome of high pressure that just didn't want to relent. And now we're going back into September, and now the pattern change. With El Nino, we're getting a lot more moisture than we normally would. So I'm thinking that the second season could be pretty good, but you never know. I mean, it could be terrible, so who knows? But I have a good feeling about it. But the second season goes from like September to like November. Sometimes pushes into December, so we'll see. Weird looping tornado that Reed's team caught. No, I didn't really see that. I think I know what you're talking about, though. If you're talking about the one that twirled, that when the tornadoes or storms get around each other and they kind of swirl around each other, is that kind of what you're talking about? OMG, bro. Hey, good planets. Can you elaborate on your comment? um, not really. Not really following you there. You might have said that to something I said, but there's a delay, so I don't know what you're commenting on. Um, but if those, let me turn my camera back on so y'all can see me. So hi everybody. This is me. This is the face that you guys hear on all the live streams when we're out and about, and today, of course. I don't like being on camera, but I'm doing it for y'all. So here we are. My hair's shorter. I cut it today because I was getting tired of it being long. But now I'm gonna turn the camera back off now because I just don't like it. But let's see. Yeah, it didn't do a straight path. It did 2 loops in its path. Oh, okay. I think I might know what you're talking about. But I haven't seen that specific video from Reed. I don't really watch other Storm Chasers stuff very often. Every now and then I will, but I just kind of keep to myself. Remember when that guy Patrick was close to you in that one stream? Oh yes, I remember that. I'm not sure if he was actually close or not. He says he was, maybe he was, but that was kind of interesting. We were in New Mexico. I very vividly remember that. Yeah, so I'm guessing that you obviously you were on that live stream. So yeah, that's pretty wild. We had some good times this spring, and I'm hoping that we continue that. I'm really hoping that we can get the channel to grow, especially here in the second season and again in the spring of next year. Hey, no, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate your support. For those of you who would like to have the little star by your name, or you just want to support the channel, go and hit that join button on any of our videos or on the front page of our channel, and support us at one of the 3 different levels that we've got. That'll help us continue storm chasing and providing live stream content for y'all. Yeah, I appreciate you, No, and all of our other members. Y'all are amazing. Really appreciate it a lot. But yeah, so we were talking about the severe weather. We'll talk about it again next week if I can remember to do a live stream. Yeah, good to see you on here on the live stream. But yeah, I'm hoping to make, now that we've got a few more people on. Don't forget to smash that like button. But oh, Piano Man's got something. Hold on. Oh yeah. I wouldn't ask you to support the channel if you're in that sort of situation. I 100% know what you're talking about. Been there, done that. It's I own my own house. I don't rent. But when you own a house, there come other expenses that normally, if you were renting, the landlord would take care of. Like my house, it shifted, like because it's been so hot and dry, the soil shifted, and so I have cracks in my ceiling and stuff. They're not real big cracks, but they're noticeable. So that's something that I'm gonna eventually have to fix. A few of the doors in the house are now they don't shut all the way, or I have to really like force them closed. So that's a big expense to fix because you really basically have to fix the foundation. That can cost a lot of money. So that's something that's gonna kind of be on the back burner for a while. So I definitely understand what you're talking about. Um, but yeah, for anybody who can and is willing, then I probably could fix the hinges. That's probably what I'll end up doing for those. But for the sheetrock on the ceiling or the drywall on the ceiling, that's going to be a different issue. So we'll see. But yeah, the doors, I just got to get my drill out of the attic. So, an interesting story for you guys. I bought this house last October, and it's an older house, so it didn't have any networking in it. Um, and so I decided that I would run networking in my whole house. And it's been a very slow process, mainly because it's been super hot. So I went up into my attic to run some network cabling, and I got up there and I was so exhausted by the time I got to the other end of the attic that I basically left my drill there and came back down, and I haven't been back up in the attic since. And that was about a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months ago. And my drill is still up there. And the reason I bring that up is because I can't fix my doors because the drill is on the other end of the attic. And so, once it's a little bit cooler, it's cooled down, but it's still too hot in the attic. So once the attic cools off enough, I'm gonna go back up there and grab my drill, and then I can actually fix the doors or fix the hinges. But yeah, that's definitely a good idea, Piano Man. Appreciate that. Um, let's see, what else can we talk about? Some of you guys you might have missed some of the stuff we talked about on severe weather. I'll just kind of go over a little bit more. Um, there's potential for severe weather next weekend. If it's possible, I'll go out there and chase it, and we'll live stream it for you guys. But that is, up in the air, depending on what the severe risk, how far away it is. All these different things play into whether I'm going to be able to go. Excuse me, whether I'm going to be able to go and chase it. But yeah, I want to, so we'll see, and then hopefully, yeah, hopefully everything works out because I want to see some storms. But anybody else got any other questions? Anything else y'all want to talk about? No, I don't know how many of you guys voted in the poll that I posted asking about of doing a video on how to be a storm chaser. I've been thinking about how I want to do it, whether I want to do it as a live stream or just as a regular video. What do you guys think? Those of you who are watching, you guys would rather it be done as a live stream, or would you rather me make a separate video and then upload it? Let me know what your opinion is on that, if you'd like, because I'm really trying to figure out how I want to do it. Not 100% sure yet. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Let's go look at Radar Omega. Oh, look, there's Piano Man. You could do a live stream and then upload the video later, or keep the recording. Yeah, YouTube will. Well, you can actually set it to whether it's available afterwards, and I do that for all the live streams, just so that people can watch them later. So, yeah, if I do it as a live stream, it'll be there. So I could do it as a live stream and people can watch later. Create a special thumbnail for it and do it that way. Yeah, that's definitely something I could do. But the thing is I figured maybe a live stream would be better, because then you guys can ask questions live, as opposed to waiting for me to follow up with a comment. So, and for anybody that watches it later afterwards, then they can still make a comment and I can follow up on there. But the storm chasing, I mean, you guys have seen me out there doing the live stream for it, and you've seen just how many people are out there sometimes, and sometimes you're the only person out there. So it's a mixed bag. But when there's one storm, then it's and please include ham radio in it. Okay, I'd say I can do something about ham radio. I don't really use it very much anymore, but I can definitely talk about ham radio or amateur radio. In order to, for those of you who don't know what that is, amateur radio is basically, it's a hobby sort of, but Skywarn uses amateur radio so you can do your reports over the radio. Now, the thing with ham radio is mainly for vehicle based systems. If you're on 2 meters, which is, Piano Man, I'm sure you're familiar with it if you're asking about it, but if you're on 2 meters, the range is about 30 or 40 miles. Yeah, that is definitely true. I just don't have my antenna hooked up, and so I don't have my radio working in my truck. It's also very useful for because my radio will tune to the National Weather Service frequencies, so I can listen to the weather radio. But yeah, I haven't. I gotta get the antenna and stuff fixed, and it's been on. It hasn't even been on my list to fix. I've got so many other things. For example, my dishwasher is broken. We've been doing dishes by hand, which is not a bad thing, but I really prefer to have a dishwasher. So, that's one thing that I'm working on, the dishwasher and other things. So, yeah, it's not even on my list of things to do right now, but yeah, I can talk about it. I can talk about amateur radio. You have to have a license to do amateur radio, so it's something we can talk about. 6 meters, 6 meters would be good to have. Yeah, I think that's those are the technician level bands. Not a lot of people on 6 meters, which could be benefit. But or at least last time I checked, there weren't a lot of people on 6 meters. Maybe it's changed in the last few years, but I don't have a 6 meter radio. I'd like to get a tri-band radio that has all three, but they're more expensive. So maybe one day I will, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in getting back into. I just gotta, I gotta put it on my list and then figure out where it fits on the list. Yeah. Local repeaters is usually what I would do whenever I was into it a lot more. Um, and repeaters are really good, but a lot of the areas where we chase, I don't know how good the coverage is. Maybe it's better than cell coverage, since the range is better, especially if you have like a good radio with the max wattage or whatever that's allowed for technician class. So that's really a good thing to include for sure in the storm chasing or how to be a storm chaser or whatever. What do we use mostly though for communication is we use Zello. And Zello can be finicky sometimes, but it works for the most part. So if you guys have heard chatter in the background on the live streams, some of it being a little vulgar, I apologize for that because I can't really control it. But if you've watched any of those live streams with the chatter, that was Zello. So that's something that that we like to use. But when there's no cell coverage or very weak cell coverage, it becomes difficult, especially if I'm live streaming. Right, so upgrading my internet is one of the priorities I have. I already have better internet than a lot of chasers do, just because I have specialized equipment for it. But it's older equipment, and I need to get it upgraded to 5G so I can have 5G down to LTE. But that's a big expense, and then I want to add Starlink internet so that I can have internet everywhere as like a backup internet. So that's something that I'm planning on, but it's gonna be a while. Probably won't be until spring if I can even get it done then. And so that's another part of it. But for most people, you don't have to go through all of that trouble like I did. As far as being a storm chaser, you don't have to have all that fancy stuff. I do because I live stream and I want it to be as best quality as I can get it. Um, but as far as how do I say this? As far as most people, all you really need is a cell phone. Um, Let me see if I can turn the camera back on because y'all are probably sitting there just looking at this, and it's probably kind of boring. Or you know what? Let me go do something real quick. Let me pull up. I did this before. I'm gonna go pull up my channel. And where's the video I did? Oh, I need to go to videos. I put this video up. Gotta sit through the ads. Let the ads play. I think I have it muted. Let me make sure. We're just gonna leave it muted for now. This was a video I posted the other day. I just kind of rated my top 5 favorite tornadoes. And let me minimize this. Where did my chat go? Chat has disappeared. There it is. So these are just, I'm just going to let this play in the background while we sit here and chat so that y'all aren't looking at something that's completely boring. And like a static screen. But yeah, so amateur radio is a good thing to add in there. Is there anything else you guys would like to see in Storm Chaser series of live streams? And while I'm waiting on the comments to catch up here, I'll talk a little bit about this. That was the Blum, Texas tornado. Now this one was near Paducah Crowell. This is probably one of my favorite chases. I tried to get real close to this. But I was really trying to like be safe at the same time. So I didn't get up as close as some of these other people up in front of me. But this is probably the closest I've ever gotten to any kind of tornado. It's a very broad tornado, but you can see right here, this is about the closest I've ever been. And man, that was spectacular to watch in person. Yeah, this was man, it's just crazy. You would have peed yourself. You know, there were a couple of moments on some of these chases, specifically that one, not this one here, but the previous one, where I was like, okay, you know, this could get real interesting. This could get real interesting. There's another video I posted. This is Selden, Kansas, of course. But there was another video I posted a while back, maybe earlier this year, maybe last year, that shows the tornado was actually coming at us. And we basically had to turn around and get out of the way. And, you know, we were only like a minute from getting hit by it. So we were in a pretty big rush to get out of there. Probably the most scared I've ever been. But, you know, when you're in that kind of situation, you're basically just concerned about getting out of there. And not getting stuck, too. That was the other thing, because I had to turn around. And there wasn't a lot of space to turn around. But yeah, this was Selden, Kansas. My camera operator wasn't doing a very good job of holding my camera still. But so it's a little shaky. But this is one of my favorite tornadoes right here. Selden, Kansas. It's out there in the middle of nowhere. Out in the field, just churning up. Of course, it eventually spawned another tornado, and that hit the town of Selden. But yeah, this is pretty wild. I don't remember. I think I did live stream this, but I was having a hard time pointing the camera at it. So the live stream, and that was on Facebook, I believe. I don't think I streamed that on YouTube. I don't really do Facebook anymore. But yeah, this has been. And then here I cut to this, where it's still kind of out there, but you can't see the funnel. There's like a space here between the base where you can see all this dust, and the top up here with the funnel. There's the funnel, and then it disappears. Like you can't see it at all, which is pretty wild. And it just kind of it's sitting out there. It's not moving that fast, but it's got a real broad wind field there. You can see all the wind down in the little in the grass just above the fence line there, below the fence line. And then here we finally get some steady video from the dash camera. This is from a GoPro. And then I kind of did some zoom effect here, but this is where it's starting to get closer to the road. Well, actually the road kind of crosses the tornado, but the tornado gets closer and closer to the road here, and you can watch it. You can see much more of a funnel now. This is really quite a spectacular chase. Probably my top chase of all time, to be honest. And y'all will see here in a moment. I don't remember how far along it is, but see in a moment where it's basically just a multi-vortex tornado, which I'll point some of that out. But and there's my buddy Corey. I chased together quite a bit. He's in the Jeep with the flashing light there. He ended up actually driving into this. Yeah, he has a channel as well. WX Corey, I believe, is the name of the channel. If you guys want to go check it out. Now, this right here, I talked about this in this video, but I wanted to maybe go into a little bit more detail here. So right now, look at the bottom of the screen, and you can see, and this is really good for chasing information too, so you know what's going on. Notice all of this is clear right here, okay? And you get the tornado out here, maybe 500, 1,000 yards, half a mile maybe away. I'm gonna play it, and then you're gonna notice something real interesting happen. And I noticed this when we were actually there that day, and it was pretty incredible to experience. Right about here. Now notice everything's real blurry down at the bottom. There's a lot of dust and moisture. Looks like it's just being sucked up off the ground. And we'll watch it here a little bit. The truck, we were in this, obviously. This would be the rear inflow jet. This is where air is wrapping around the tornado and is very strong. I think there's 60, 70 miles an hour, maybe 80 miles an hour winds, maybe even stronger than that. Was pushing up against the truck at this time. And you can see this tornado was really active. And then, of course, the rear inflow jet, you can see it kind of dies off. But you just kind of watch this tornado. You can see the wall cloud up above it, or the tornado up above it. And then we're kind of sitting under the wall cloud, I guess. And then look at all this dust. And you can see like little swirls in it down here at the bottom. There's a lot of activity going on down at the bottom with all of this air. Really quite an incredible sight to watch. And of course, you got other people racing towards the tornado, getting even closer to it. Maybe one day I'll get that close. But I was more worried about other tornadoes spawning next to us. I was trying to keep my distance. Of course, even at this distance, it would have been possible for other tornadoes to spawn right next to us, or on top of us. You can see all that wind and stuff right there next to the tornado. It's pretty incredible. But see. Yeah, it definitely looks really small and slow from a distance. It's really quite impressive when you get up close. I like to get as close as I can, and this year I didn't really have as many opportunities to do that. You can see all the supercell and the wall cloud spinning over there on top of us. You can see it's trying to do all kinds of stuff. You can see the tree over here really getting after it. At this moment right here is when I was the most concerned about whether we would see a tornado drop on us. So this is why I stopped. Now this right here, see, it spawned right there. And it could have just as easily spawned closer to us. And then watch all of that wrapping around the vortex, and then you start to see down at the bottom. Let me move my mouse out of the way. You can see all those little multiple vortexes or vortices spinning up down right here. There's one. So that would have been like a little mini tornado, and those were circling the entire thing. There you can see another one. Very violent. Here it's like destroying something. And then you can see something's caught on fire, it looks like, over there. So that's one of the things that's really dangerous about chasing these kinds of storms. And that's one of the reasons why I stayed back like I did, because, of course, now you can zoom out. You can see how close we were. We were right here under the wall cloud. My friend, he actually drove up into this, and we're at the end of the video, basically. He actually drove all the way up into it, and he has a video on this on his channel on WX Corey, but his one of those little vortexes caught his door and almost ripped it off. But it was pretty wild. So yeah, that's just a little bit of storm chasing there for you. It's only a handful of my favorite chases. It's called These Are My Favorites. I'm not real good at naming these things, so but that was that. So now we're almost an hour into this live stream. You guys got any other questions or want to talk about anything else before I wrap up the live stream? And then I'll try to do this again next week if y'all want. And we can talk about the weather that's going to be coming up that weekend. And then at some point, I'm going to try to do the storm chasing live stream where we talk specifically about that. I'll see if I can come up with some video. Like video like this to kind of show things to do and things not to do, because I've done both. But the very first video, I think, will be just me talking about the different hazards that exist when you're out storm chasing. Some might be obvious, some might not be so obvious. I have a script written up to kind of go off of, so I'll try to add in some more things for the first live stream. If I'm going to do it as a live stream, I'll do multiple live streams over a period of time. But I think we will wrap it up. I need to make dinner and I need to eat. And appreciate everybody for hopping on here. Just a couple of you left. And we will see you guys either next week or the next time we chase. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, there's only 2 of you, so most of you guys probably already have. But yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Piano Man. Appreciate you hopping on and watching. And well, that'll be all. We will see you guys again, hopefully next week.